How's it going, everyone? Today we are looking at our October picks and reviewing them. We're going to start with our swing trades and then move to our day trades. No earnings time spreads this month. Going to go in chronological order, starting with PLTR. So I'm going to zoom back in time on SPY to when we took PLTR. This was on the 3rd. And let's look at PLTR on the 3rd. Absolutely beautiful setup. Stock making new all-time highs. Nice breakout of compression. Very tight breakout too. Beautiful move on this stock. And we took a quick overnight win on PLTR. As the market was at support, market gapped up, stock gapped up, took a nice little win. Obviously, PLTR continued much, much higher. And it's interesting because I'm always trying to see what stocks can I lead into more, when can I not? And really with PLTR, it was the fact that we got this market breakout on the 9th, and the stock was already kind of front running. And then when it started to lose some relative strength here, 10th, 11th, 14th, if we take a look at this, right, not really rallying up with the market on the 14th, that tells us that might be some time to lock in some gains. So on a stock with some nice tight price action, you can let it ride a little bit longer. And PLTR has just been a very strong uptrend, just gradually moving up higher. So again, technically, right, overnight swing, this is a pretty classic example. And I think it really had to do more with my confidence in the market. Will we make a new all-time high? Are we going to compress? I didn't really know. So I defined my time horizon as something short, which is totally fine. If I defined it longer, I would have had a little bit more profit. So we're going to come back to this trade. But the question I have here is, did it make sense, or does it make sense for me to define this as a longer time horizon because the stock is so strong? Most stocks do not warrant that. They warrant a quick move. But a stock like PLTR, it may warrant a move where you really stick with it. Next trade we had here was SEDG as a PDS. We took SEDG on the 8th. So let's go back to the 8th here. Love this move here in SEDG. And here is the 8th. So here's why I took SEDG. Again, stock is very weak, bearish, downtrend, broke through some, or I guess rejecting from the top of this high, or this low, sorry, this high minus trend line, my bad. And through this horizontal support at around 1972. Market was in a compression and was testing the top of its range. So I said, look, if we continue to compress, we're probably going to test the bottom of this range. And instead, the market broke out. And that's possible, right? We're compressing for a little while. The bid had been checked twice, and then we got the breakout. So held it the next day, didn't panic. And then when the market paused, this stock sold off, and I managed to scratch in the trade. Actually had a chance to get a little bit of money on it. But on this breakout, I didn't know how strong that follow-through was going to be, if we're going to immediate follow-through or not. So played it safe, broke even. I'm not going to be scrutinizing that decision very much. If anything, I think I took a very tiny win, like a 2% win or something on the PDS. So I think I played that smart. Obviously, you can say, hey, man, like if you just held it a little bit longer, it would have been a really good swing. But you know, you don't really know. It depends how confident you are in this move. You have to be willing to kind of ride out this move and wait for it to die down all the way in pretty much until maybe the 17th, when we get a double top here and start to sell off. And there's a good chance that this stock could even rip up. So for me, I'm not going to mess around with it. Take the scratch and don't have to worry about managing or holding that guy through this position. Okay, ORCL. Took this guy on the 9th. Really liked my entry on this stock market-wise. Stock-wise, it was good. Really nothing too bad about that, but just chopping around this level, and my options were basically slowly bleeding out. So I took the November 1st calls for $10, I believe, and then I took a 30% loss on that, or maybe a 30-40% loss on that, and it was just bleeding out slowly. It didn't rally with the market. Market stalled. I'm waiting for something else to really move up higher. Just couldn't do it. Now, if I had some longer term options, maybe all the way until earnings, I had a chance to actually take really nice profits, but it was too much of a risk, too big of a position size for me that I couldn't afford to hold through. Stock needed to retest its AVWAP, and we had to get through some major releases. So it was, not really a decision I was comfortable with holding to hold this part here. Stock had a very weak bearish trend pulling back, so I knew it was going to go out. It was just a timing with the options. And on this channel down, you can see this low, this high minus trend line. On this bounce up, I knew that I should take profits on this high minus trend line around 175. So did not take a massive loss because I didn't panic at these lows. We got these bounces, and you'll notice that I had a decent chance to maybe take a scratch or a tiny loss very early when the market did not produce, especially on the 17th. I think that was really my window to get out of the trade. Stock didn't produce, market produced, lost its relative strength. Okay, get out of the trade. So that's what I would have done. Either been a little bit more nimble or take a much longer term time horizon and give myself 6 weeks at least, on this trade where I don't get crushed by the theta decay. So that was Oracle. Next pick, we had a Square CDS on 10.9. This was a nice move on Square. I got it on this pullback at VWAP. Or sorry, 10.10, my bad. And then we actually just took the loss. I think I legged out on this test on the SMA, and then I actually ended up expiring worthless. Just ran out of time on this guy. I ended up taking Square calls that day, and then I took some nice profits on those calls, I believe sometime over here on somewhere around 73. So I took some nice profits on those calls on Square, but yeah, it was just a wrong option strategy. I got the market right on the 10th. Right, here's the 10th. Got the stock right, got the options wrong. That's why I lost. PCAR. Took this on the 11th. Zoom back over here. So market still looking bullish. PCAR, nice breakout. Had this sort of stair step move over here. Now it's already made a pretty big move, so I thought we could get something going on a little bit of a follow through. Here's the 11th. Here is the 14th. PCAR rallies up. Still looking good. Pulls back. Market pulls back. I'm not panicking because I know we'll see a double top. And then I think I end up exiting the next day for a scratch. I should have held one more day for this double top because then I actually would have made a small profit on this guy on the 17th. So not really sure why I did that. It was a little dumb. Market had found support. It was not just going to... You can usually see on these moves, right? We get the test. We usually test that all-time high pretty quickly after that, right? Here's a rejection, test the all-time high the next day. Rejection, test, right? Like we're at this level a couple of times. So break even, that should have been a small win, right? I should have held that a little bit longer. That's not the best move on my part. VST. Took this guy off of this pullback over here on the 11th. On the 14th. Held through the 15th. Right, and then I took profits, I believe, on the 16th. Probably actually could have even held to the 17th and take profits on the gap up. That would have been the play. But yeah, I took some profits on the 16th over here as the market started to rally. Stock held a lot of its gains, so it didn't mess around too much with the market over there. And that was a nice little win on the CDS. VST still looking good. I mean, the real move was to get in on this buy signal. That would have been a beautiful move. Then you got the bearish engulfing candle, and you can exit. You probably have an exit on this double top somewhere here, and you get a massive chunk of that move. That's a $40 move. Next one we had here was Dash. Beautiful breakout of compression on the 15th, or sorry, on the 11th, my bad. We had some market tailwind and held through the market move down here on the 15th, had a little bit of a test of support, and then we took profits over here on the 17th on the open. So that was a nice, I believe a 30%, 35% win on Dash. CLSK took a CDS on that as well. So this was, I think, a nice move to take CDSs that week. We had a lot of market tailwind. So got an over here on this breakout. I know this is a pretty messy chart. I'm actually just going to take out these trend lines for right now. So took it through here. We got this breakthrough. We got the high-low double bottom, breaking through this top, through the 50 SMA and AVWAP. Took it on the 14th, and we took profits on the 15th over here. That was a nice win on the CDS. And especially when the market was selling off on that day, it was managed actually to get up a little bit higher. So that's when we hit our profit target on CLSK. LUNR. Also a bit of a crazy guy. There's that wide bullish channel. So we broke through this downward sloping trend line, took it on the 16th over here on a bit of a pullback, and I was able to scratch out on the 22nd, I believe, because wasn't really doing anything. And I was like, I just didn't want to hold through all of this. And it was breaking through that bearish channel. So I had a small time horizon for this trade. I waited to get a nice little pullback, and that is pretty much why I scratched out of it. This is one you could probably hold a small size, hold a little bit longer, and it's pretty volatile. So on any sort of spike, you can get a nice big deal of profits over there. And had some support close to the $7 level. So you want to get in a little bit closer to, let's say, $7, $8 is a pretty good level over here on PLTR. Or sorry, not PLTR, on LUNR. MSTR took it from 8 on the 18th to the 19th. So here's the 18th, here's the 19th, or sorry, 18th to the 21st, my bad. CDS worked really well on this day. We were this bearish engulf. We're bouncing off of the 8 EMA. Here's the 18th. Look at SPY on the 18th. We're right here. So market's doing pretty well. These stocks are made new all-time high, and it also can tend to ignore the market a little bit more, and they have a ton of momentum, these Bitcoin-related tickers. So that's why we took the CDS on MSTR, and we took a nice win on the next day, even though the market was flat and a little bit down. NVIDIA here. We got in on this break on the 22nd, confirmed the break, took the CDS, but eventually died. Took a small loss over here when it popped back up to the high, but that was it. I mean, we just ran out of time. This needed to be a longer term, either a longer term call that would hold the pullback or wait for the pullback and then get in the CDS, but just didn't time it right. It was the wrong option strategy. So you can see that's clearly a theme here. Last one is AFRM. Took it on this pullback right over here, like this entry point, and then I took a small win before the election on the 5th. You can see obviously it moved up quite high testing this level right here, 50. So those calls actually probably would have been a 50 to 60% winner had I held them, but I didn't feel comfortable holding over that uncertainty. I thought there's a good chance we could even break down below here and then I have to take a, I don't know, eat a 60%, 70% loss maybe. Didn't want to do that. So that's why I took the small win when I did. So the theme here was just, I mean, I had really a lot of nice picks. Didn't have the right option strategies for a couple of them, which cost me. It cost me on Oracle. I mean, yeah, it needed to be longer term calls. Square needed to be a longer term call. NVIDIA needed to be a longer term call or a better entry. So just didn't time those. And, those are 3 losses that, in my opinion, they should have been wins. But got everything right, got the options wrong. So that kind of pisses me off. PCAR was a break even. That should have been a win. Square, SEDG was a break even. It also could have been a win, but I'm not too worried about that one. I made the right call in terms of pivoting to the market. And AFRM was a break even, but also could have been a win had I wanted to hold through the market volatility. Okay, so let's take a look at the day trades for this month. Okay, so on 10-1, we took coin short. Where is 10-1, 10-1, 10-1? This looks like a 10-1 candle to me. That's a nice little breakdown on coin. So let's take a look at this coin short over here. So I'm just going to go to the trading view chart here. So let's first take a look at the D1 before I get ahead of myself. 10-1 is over here. Okay, so bit of a bearish trend day, a bit of an inside day, chopping around here. So nice little day trade short that we can take. SPY, let's go to the first. Okay, so here is 10-1. See, bearish trend day, and then we just kind of chop around, not do too much. All right, so here's coin on 10-1, comes back over here, pulls back. There's a nice entry point on the break of this level right here through VWAP. So that's one entry point you can take. Now, if you take it on the breakdown like I did over here, ended up taking the loss because the stock kind of reversed up over here through this low minus trend line coming into play. So that ended up being some support that formed, and we had to get out of the trade accordingly. Just didn't quite produce. So that's why we took the loss over here on coin. The next pick was BMY as a day trade long. We took this on the second, so I'm guessing this was the second was here. Okay, so that's a nice stock breaking out of that range. Slow, grindy mover. SPY on the second. Okay, so we're hitting some support here. Let's look at this on an intraday basis. Probably a bit of a dead day. Yep, pretty dead day. Find some support, but not really too much going on. Go to look at BMY on the second. I remember this trade. Oh yeah, so nice move here. Stock starts to flag. I take it right here at the high of the day, or on this break of the flag. No cushion actually to the high of the day, so test, 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 test. Then we reject back lower, so I actually take the loss pretty well, actually. Take it right around here. I don't wait for it to come down here because this red candle really shouldn't have happened. And after this candle, we needed to move up very, 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 very quickly. And then finally, actually, no, I lied. I think I did take the loss over here. I took the loss because we needed this level to hold, and I was looking for maybe a higher low through this level right here. So, something like this. Come over here. Here's a higher low, right? So this is all fine. And when we break down through here, I'm out of the trade. Actually, I think I take the bounce back up over here. I managed to get a nice exit at 55, 54.20-ish. So take a decent loss, and managed to save me some headache over here. But yeah, I mean, it's a choppy stock. You can see there's some selling, some long good candles. So not as organized on the move up. You want to be buying dips. So, kind of died out, and the day is pretty dead, and there's not a lot of market tailwinds. So these strong stocks over here, you have to get into pullback. So don't mind the play too much. In hindsight, potentially a better play. We got 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3. Then we kind of struggled over here, test. And then when we broke down over here, that's when you have to get out. So I think I recognize all the warning signs. Not a terrible play. I think I'd probably take it again in hindsight. It just didn't work out. Okay. Next pick is Illumina. Took this guy on the 4th. Here is the 4th. Really nice reversal play on the stock. So here is SPY on the 4th. Yep, has this reversal play as well. Let's take a look at this on an intraday basis. The 3rd. Okay, so here's the 4th. And SPY has this gap, fell super choppy. I thought it's actually going to fill in the gap. Turns out we did not. And test. So when I saw this, that we're starting to get these higher lows, starting to rally higher, I knew that we're going to start to get a little bit of lift off, because every knockdown is being bought back up, and it's actually being bought back up a little bit higher. So here's where the trend is actually starting to reverse, right? You can see this bottoming out process. Actually, this is actually a microcosm of 2023, if you think about it. These choppy move lower, tall bounces, tall bounces, tall bounces, one final pullback, test, and then we get the reprieve. If I look at this stock on the 4th, yeah, I mean, I loved this test of support here. Higher low double bottom, and it actually moved up a lot earlier, 1050, when the market was still, kind of doing its thing here. Not a bad time to buy this stock. And I think I actually took it on a fresh buy signal somewhere here, I believe. And then this stock just kind of grinded up higher. It wasn't as strong as I hoped it to be at the end of the day, but I could kind of ride it out actually for some pretty decent profits from 142. I think took profits, on 140 to about 140.71. So it was actually one of my biggest day trade winners. And I just got the market right. I picked a good stock that had confirmed support and was grinding up higher, and had good volume, and that was that. So pretty textbook play. Next day trade was MSTR on the 11th. So you notice that we take a lot of trades on MSTR, just as a beautiful ticker. So this is what I liked in MSTR. Broke out right around over here, and then we started to get the acceleration. So it took some gains here, and then it took some other gains on the move back up. This is, got to really make this guy bigger. Sometimes it's just hard to see. Again, nice steady volume, good price action. We pulled back over here, and then we're getting that breakout. Whoops. Let's look at this market on the 11th. And now market, also a little bit of a bullish day. So that is our bullish day. And let's go to MSTR. Yep, so over here, it's getting close to that all-time high, so you want to be careful, but I believe we actually broke through that all-time high, so that's why I took the trade. And the market had its bullish day, coming back in, flagging a little bit, and then coming back up for more. And this stock was just strong, nice strength, nice volume, and I think it held the gains pretty well, even though the market was starting to pull back. Actually, I think I took it over here, at 1:30. So a little bit later in the day, once the market, it had come in a little bit, looking for support. This stock was hugging the high of the day, higher low double bottom. And, looks like this was really the next chunk of the move. So I got a nice, probably about half of that chunk very nicely. And had some support right around the all-time high around 202. Next trade we had was MMM as a day trade short. So let's look at MMM. I believe this was an earnings day. I wonder, post earnings move on the 23rd. Market is compressing at this time. Yep, so we got this leg lower, bullish trend that ended up forming a bit of a tail at the AVWAP Q. So nice stuff here on MMM. I'm going to pull up the intraday chart on this guy. And let's take a look on the 23rd. Yeah, some beautiful, steady price action on the stock. And let's go into SPY on the 23rd. Yeah, I mean, let's look at this day here. Try to get into the gap. No. We're just leaking lower, and we have some room all the way to that AVWAP Q. So I believe I took the short sometime later in the day, maybe 1:30 or so. But I think I actually may have taken it on this break at 12:10, and then when the market, or actually no, I took it on this 1OP bearish cross, excuse me, and then got the break, and then when this stock kind of started to move sideways, not really rallying with the market over here, you can see it starts to flatline from 12:30 all the way to about 1:30, and you can see here's the market 12:30 all the way to about 1:30, moves down. You have plenty of time to get out of the trade because you have the market tailwind on your side. So it was a nice little win that I managed to take on this guy. I think I took like a nice straight dollar into this move into strength, but we had a lot of time to exit this trade. Just was a nice solid pick. We had a 1OP bearish divergence, so this produced. We were diverging, and then we got the crossover here, which means I could get a nice entry point on this guy. And we got the market right. So when both the things in our favor, right? Good stock, good pick, good volume, relative weakness. It's a super, super high probability trade. Okay, 1024, 2 picks on 1024. Whoops. That is the chat room. Okay. 1024, Tesla. Beautiful move higher on the stock. And this is a post-earnings move. Take a lot of picks. So I said, look, on a little pullback, get this 1OP bullish cross right around here. Stock starts to rally up higher, get a nice divergence, and then we get a nice little move up over here. So a lot of 1OP divergences in this stock. Really, really nice stuff. Find some support at VWAP, so that's a nice one you can also take in the stock. Let's look at the market on the 24th. And market's pretty flat, not doing a whole lot. I was going to look at the D1 on both of these. Should have done that first. I just got excited by the M5. And Tesla's made a really big move from, from 210 all the way to 300. Massive move here. So here's that candle on the 24th. Massive break. Market rallying a little bit over here, but fairly dead day. Tesla has a huge pulse and has a ton of volume. So this stock is just moving totally independent of the market. And when it finds some support here, that's when you can kind of get in on the trade, leaning on what's potentially a pivot over here. And I would size it fairly small, and then you can look to add to the trade and ride that up the whole day. So nice little move up over here. Has a buy signal as well, so you want to wait for a little dip. Get in around VWAP. That's a nice entry point early in the day. And then if it's trending, you're never looking back. And wow, that would have been a beautiful winner. I believe that 1OP cross came in somewhere here, 1030. So it's looking like a $10 winner intraday. Okay. I also gave on this day VKTX. Oh boy. Okay, VKTX on the 24th. Oh yeah, that was a nice one. So stock had pulled back. I think I took the 1OP cross somewhere over here. And then we got a tiny win. Stock moved up over here, but didn't really produce much with the market on the 24th. Again, market's pretty flat. We're pretty dead, not doing a whole lot. So VKTX, we needed to see a strong move back to the high of the day. We started to inch back lower, forming this lower high double top. So plenty of opportunity to scratch out of the trade. And actually, if you got on the 1OP cross here, you never really had a chance to, by the time you get over here, you still take a small profit. So this is a small profit kind of win. Didn't look as much as Tesla, but we waited for that pullback, and then that's when we got into the trade. So nice stuff over here on the stock. And again, it was a really good D1 pick on the 24th. It was breaking out of a major compression. It's a choppy stock, and it was actually, I think, through a high sloping trend line. I think there's an anchored VWAP coming into play around here as well. So really breaking through that quite strongly. Okay, now we also recommended VKTX the next day because it was just looking so damn good. So I took it over here. This is when I took the trade at 12.25. I really like this pullback on VKTX. Let's look at SPY on the 25th, and look, with this move up here, move down here, finding some support. So I was like, okay, we can probably take a small day trade long here and lean on this low of the day as support. Now, when we broke the low of the day, that's obviously your first clue. Your second clue is that when we got over here, VKTX should have had a chance to break through that high of the day, given that this move was decent. But instead, we actually broke down through here, and this 1OP bullish cross flipped pretty quickly, and we took the loss somewhere over here. So got in at 8:30, got out at 7:55-ish. Just didn't get the production that we want on that stock. So happens. That was a loss, and it was a pretty smart loss because stock rallied a little bit lower, and we had a couple chances to get out of that price later in the day, but it would have been tough. So we took the loss pretty quickly, and you definitely should have been out when SPY made a new low of the day because we couldn't get any liftoff during this 1OP bullish cycle. And then this ended up being a benign cycle that turned into a diversion cycle. I actually took a SPY short here and made some decent money on it. Last day trade for the month. Carvana on the 31st. Okay. So it was an earnings setup. Let's look at this on the D1 chart. Here was the big earnings move on Carvana. Very strong stock, super steady price action on this guy. This is one you really want to ride. SPY the 31st, we had some selling, mega cap deck earnings, end of month rebalancing, spooky season. It's also Halloween, so not sure if that adds to the spookiness or not. Could SPY here on the 31st. Breaking down through here, just kind of chopping around intraday. Carvana looked pretty good. I think I took it on this breakout over here, and I have a break even on this trade. Was choppy, pulled back. I liked how it held. Nice break on the candle. Testing over here, moving up higher, but didn't really do a whole lot. And it just was kind of flatlining. So that's one opportunity you could have taken. I think the opportunity that I actually took, was right over here at 13.10. Market was starting to rally a little bit. Then we got kind of sinking in lower. Carvana had a nice 1OP bullish divergence. I thought we have a nice opportunity to get into. Didn't produce, and I ended up scratching the trade. So just took it right over here. Flatlined. I thought we had something going, didn't have anything going. So got out of the trade and actually ended up saving myself quite a bit of money, considering that this stock ended up moving down, just about a small $30 move. on this stock, just a mild 15% move. So got out of that. So those are all of the picks on October. So we had 19 trades, 9 wins, 6 losses, 5 break evens. For days, we were 5, 3, and 2 for about 10 total over here. Or sorry, I think I have 20 trades. My bad. I think I have to update my amounts. But swings, 4 wins, 3 losses, 3 break evens. I think the best way I could have improved was on my swings. I think the only swing loss that I should have taken was probably ORCL. Square should have been calls. NVIDIA should have been calls or not taken. So the CDS kind of screwed me over a little bit. I did take some nice wins on the CDSs when I did, but for some of them I didn't. I kind of cut my duration either a little too short or I didn't quite time it well enough with this market move over here, right? You have this window from the 9th probably to the 11th to really get in on call debit spreads. And if you don't, then it's over. The day trades were pretty decent. Took a loss on coin and BMY, which weren't too bad. VKTX wasn't too bad. So we had a couple that didn't go our way. I'm not too worried about those. Those happen. It's also some LPT environments, low volume, chop. It's just the probability just really does get reduced. Really got to buy dips on those. So my focus here would just be cutting those losses out of the swing trades and, getting that time horizon right. So that kind of dip in results, I don't think was a dip in my technical ability. Is just now as I'm experimenting with different option strategies and finding the right one to use, I really have to make sure that I have my time horizon clear, and that just comes with practice. So that is all of the October picks. All of them will be posted in the description. Hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.